Welcome back to AlgoJS. Today's question is LeetCode 295, find a median from data stream. So the median is the middle value in an ordered integer list. If the size of the list is even, there is no middle value, and the median is the mean of the two middle values. So we have two examples here. We have 2, 3, and 4. The median is going to be 3, right? So it's going to be the middle value because this array is odd length. With even lengths, we just add up the two values or the two middle values and then divide by 2, right? So we need to build out a class called median finder. And then we're going to add methods to this, one called addNum, which is going to add a number into this class, one called addNum, which is going to add the number into this median finder object, and lastly, we have findMedian method, which is going to find the median within this median finder object. So let's start off with an array, right? That's what we're going to initialize this class to. We need to add numbers in here. Say we have 1 and 3 already in this array. What is the most intuitive way of finding the position to insert an integer into an array with log n time complexity? Well, it's going to be using binary search, right? So we're going to use binary search to find the position in order to add a value. Say the value is 2. We're going to have a left pointer, we're going to have a right pointer, and we're going to have a middle value. And if this middle value that we calculate from adding these two together and dividing by 2, if that is equal to the value, then we can slot it in there. Otherwise, if it's less than this number, then we're going to increase the left pointer, right? So the left pointer would move to mid plus 1. Otherwise, if the middle value is greater than this number, well, we know that it's not going to be in the right side. So we are going to move the right pointer to mid minus 1. And then in order to insert this value within the array, we're going to have to splice it in. Now, this is the only drawback to this solution, is that we are going to be using slice to insert the value. So it's not just going to be log n time complexity, it will probably be k log n, right? Because we are going to be splicing. Next is finding the median. And there are two ways that were stated in the question. There's an approach where the length of the array is even, and there is an approach where the length of the array is odd. Now, if it's even, we need to find the two middle values within the array. So we can calculate the middle value by simply doing array.length divide by 2. So this grabs us the middle value. So say we have an array of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is going to grab us this value here, 3. We also need 2 here. So we're going to have that value as well. And we can just grab it by saying this value minus 1. And then we can just add these two together and divide by 2. So it's going to be 5 divided by 2, which is going to give us 2.5. And then with odd length arrays, it's even more simple. We're just going to calculate the middle value. So in this example up here, the middle value is going to be 2. So we're going to do r.length divide by 2. And we'll have to floor this as well, right? So it'll be math.floor r.length divided by 2. This is going to give us the index of 1, and that is going to be pointed to 2, right? So then we can just return that value within the array. So this will be running in O1 time complexity. Okay, so let's dive into the code. So for the median finder, we're going to initialize the array. So have it equal to an array. Then within the addNum method, we're going to initialize left and right because we are using binary search. So it's going to be this.r.length minus 1. And then while left is less than or equal to right, we're going to get the middle. So the middle is going to be math.floor, right plus left, divide by 2. Great, so we have the mid. Now we need to work out whether we need to shift the left pointer or the right pointer. So if this r at mid, so the middle value, if that is less than num, we know that's not going to be in the left side, right? So we can shift the left pointer to mid plus 1. Else, if the value within the middle of the array is greater than num, we know that it's not going to be in the right side of the array. So we can shift that to mid minus 1. And then we have to splice it. So we're going to splice this, which does slightly increase the time complexity. Right, so this .r.splice, the first parameter we pass in is the index, right? So we're going to be passing in a value at this index. The second parameter passed in is how many items we need to remove. We're not going to be removing any, we're just inserting here. So this can stay as 0. And then the third param is going to be what we are inserting. So that's the addNum method sorted. Then for find median, it's pretty straightforward. We just need to work out whether the array length is odd or even. We can use the %sign to. If this is equal to 0, then we have an even array. So then we can work out the mid, right? So let mid equal this.r.length divided by 2. Then we need to add this.r mid with this.r mid minus 1, right? Because as it says in the question statement, if the list is even, the median is the mean of the two middle values. So we have the two middle values here. We're going to divide that by 2 to get the median, and we are going to return this. Else, we have an odd length array. So we just need to work out the mid, which is going to be math.floor. This.r.length divided by 2. And then we just return this.array at that middle value. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a run. It's been accepted, let's submit it. And there you go. If you like this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help out with the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.